Hello and welcome to Positively United. Today, Sunday, the 3rd of May 2026, and it's the day of our home game against Liverpool. Always the biggest fixture of the season, this and the game at Anfield. I don't care what anybody says. Our biggest rivals are Liverpool. It's not City, it's not Arsenal, it's not Chelsea or whoever else has brought themselves to the top of the Premier League. I'll exclude Arsenal from that criticism. It's Chelsea and City I'm really going on about. Yeah, it's the game against Liverpool that matters more than anything else. And it's interesting because, of course, neither ourselves or Liverpool have been anywhere close to winning the Premiership this season. And we've both gone through, in our different ways, a quite traumatic and troubled season. But it's still the biggest game, isn't it? It's still the game you look forward to more than any other. And look forward and also fear a little bit, because each side knows that it can really harm the other side, and a defeat is really, really a pain. This is my video of the predicted 11 for us against Liverpool. It's kicking off at the bizarre time of 3:30 this afternoon in the UK. Why 3:30? God only knows. Yeah, football, TV. It's the tail wagging the dog these days, isn't it? And it has been for years, but there you go. But yeah, really looking forward to the game this afternoon. Would be anyway, but there's that added little bit on top today, is that either a draw or a win absolutely guarantees us Champions League football next season. I think some people have slightly jumped the gun. I've seen a couple of people online today and last night even saying that United have qualified for the Champions League because of Newcastle's victory against Brighton. That's not actually true. Of course, in reality, it's there because the scenario to now deny us the Champions League is very, very, very slim. Brighton can't do it because of their defeat against Newcastle, but Bournemouth still can, mathematically. They'd have to win all 4 of their remaining games. And remember, they kick off this afternoon. They're playing when we play, although they're not exactly overlapping. I think their game finishes. I'll need to double check. I think their game finishes whilst we're still playing. But if Bournemouth win all 4 of their games and we lose all 4 of our games and Liverpool and Villa overtake us, we can still finish out of the Champions League positions. It's a possibility. It's a mathematical possibility. And I don't think until it's mathematical certainty we should be waving flags or popping champagne corks or anything like that. But wouldn't it be absolutely fantastic if this afternoon we could secure Champions League football against Liverpool? A win or a draw is enough. And actually, that brings me to, I don't usually do match predictions because I am absurdly superstitious. But I want to put this as a suggestion to you. Everybody thinks this is going to be a blood and guts, take no prisoners game. Neither United nor Liverpool want to lose this game. So no interest of United to lose this game. They get a draw, Champions League. And I don't think Liverpool would want to lose this game either, because a point with the current position that Villa find themselves in is a very, very useful point. Don't automatically expect this to be an all guns blazing game, because I think, look, it's just a hunch, but I've just got a feeling that both teams going into today will know full well that the worst result for them, absolutely the worst result for them, is a defeat. And they should try and avoid it at all possible costs. And I do believe that might colour the attitude of both teams to this game. It's just a hunch, and I might be completely wrong. And I suppose for the neutrals around the world watching the game, I hope I'm wrong. But, sorry, excuse me. I've just got a feeling that common sense might prevail, if common sense is the word. Because both of these teams know full well that a draw out of today is actually a very good result. But hey, what do I know? But yeah, so let me just double check the Brentford situation because I just want to know when they're kicking off. Sorry about this. I should have checked this earlier, but we may as well check whilst we're online here. So fixtures today. Yeah, Bournemouth kick off at 2. So their game will finish before our game finishes at Old Trafford. In fact, by the time we kick off, the Bournemouth Crystal Palace game, of course, will be well into its second half. Remember, Bournemouth have to win that game in order for them to be able to deny us a Champions League position. So, it might. I don't want this to happen, obviously, but it's a possibility we could end up losing today and still end up qualifying for Champions League. That's what I read into that, I think, anyway. But anyway, win or draw today, we've definitely qualified, and it's be much nicer. Obviously, the most desirable outcome out of today is us winning, because we beat Liverpool, we qualified for Champions League, and we kind of like put seeds of doubt into Liverpool's minds about whether they're going to finish high up enough to qualify for Champions League. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Let's see Liverpool go into the final few games of the season full of anxiety and worry, whilst we can, I wouldn't say put our feet up, because obviously we'll want to win the final 3 games of the season and finish at the highest number of points we possibly can. But yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, to finish the season not relaxed but confident. Knowing what a good season it's turned out to be, despite the horrors that we were going through in the first half of the season. By the way, I just want to point out one thing. So, number of goals we've scored this season. So, Arsenal, after their impressive win yesterday, when they scored 3 goals, because they need to score goals, because let's face it, that the championship this season might not just come down to goal difference, it might even come down to goals scored, because there's a chance they might end up on the same goal difference, them and City. But they've scored 67 goals in 35 games. We've scored 60 goals in 34 games. City, by the way, scored 66 in 33 games. We're scoring goals. If you look at us, when it comes to goals scored, we are punching at the same level, almost the same level as Arsenal and City. So when you look at the goals against that things turn against us, Arsenal have conceded 26 in 35. City have conceded 29 in 33. We've conceded 46 in 34. 20 more goals we've conceded this season than Arsenal. Played 1 game less, but 20 more goals. That's crazy. But it does show you, it really does show you that if we can tweak this team so we score the same number or a few more goals, but we really tackle how porous we've become, I don't see any reason why we're a million miles away from City and Arsenal. But that's probably another video for later this week. But I was looking at this. I was looking at the table just now and thinking, we're not that far away. We're not that far away. Of course, the fact we've conceded so many goals has ended up with us drawing games. So Arsenal and City have both drawn 7. We've drawn 10. Both Arsenal and City have lost 5. We've lost 7. I easily remember us, by the way, winning Premier League titles in the past, losing 7 or more games. It's been an intriguing season for United this season, and it's intriguing where they're going to finish by the end of the season in terms of not just the position in the league, but the perception of United in terms of what they'll be able to do next season. As I said, that's probably a different video. Let's move on to what this video is meant to be about, which is the predicted 11. And there's a couple of question marks over the predicted 11 because there are rumours going around that Shaw and Shesko might be injured for today's game. Now, they're rumours, can't pin anything certain down. There's also a rumour that Cunha is not absolutely fully fit to come back. Well, we'll wait and see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the team that I think Carrick will go with if everyone's fit and available. I'll then probably move on to what I think Carrick will do if some players are not fit and available. And then if by that stage I feel I still have a different team in my own mind, I'll suggest that. But I think if everyone's fit and available, the team that Carrick will go with is Lamans, obviously, Dalot, Heaven, Maguire and Shaw. Heaven, because it's absolutely no need to drop him. Some people, I think, have suggested that Yoro should come in and Heaven should go back to bench. Why? What does Yoro offer that Heaven doesn't? I think he's been absolutely outstanding in the 2 games he's played recently, Heaven, and I think he deserves to keep his place. So, and I think Carrick will look at it in the same way. So, Heaven in the back 4. Central midfield, do we even need to bother to speculate or talk about it? It's Casemiro and Mainu. In front of them, Fernandes, Cunha and Mbumo, I think. Because those are the players who I think can do Liverpool most damage in their present form. The slight question mark, I guess, would be about Mbumo, whether Mbumo should perhaps be playing and whether, in fact, it should be Ahmad in that place. Because Mbumo hasn't been playing at the best of his ability over the last several games. I just feel that Mbumo, with his strength, his body strength, in a game which, could end up being a bit physical at times, I think Mbumo is a better choice. And I think Carrick and the coaching team will make the same decision. Shesko up front. Shesko, look, in my mind, I was strongly in favour of playing roughly the same team that we did at Anfield, because I thought we were brilliant at Anfield. And if you remember, Cunha played up front in a sort of false 9 position. So I was very much toying with the idea. In fact, I think I mentioned this in one of the videos last week, that we should almost be working towards playing the same formation, the same team we did at Anfield against Liverpool, against them today at Old Trafford. But I think with Shesko actually having his most impressive game, I think, as a starter last week against Brentford, I thought he was really good. And I've been very critical of him, as you know. I've said I didn't think it was working with him up front when he starts games, but it did last week. He was impressive. He really was. It was more impressive. He took his goal really, really well. So cool. But I think his general play, his hold-up play, his link-up play, his positional play was just better. I think he looked really good. So, again, I think he deserves to start. Why break something that is working towards working? So I think that's the starting 11 that Carrick will go for. Lamans, Dalot, Heaven, Maguire, Shaw, Maino, Casemiro, Fernandes, Mbumo, Cunha and Shesko. Now, what about if the injury rumours are true? Then I think if Shaw's not available, then Dorgu comes in. And Dorgu is available. So, can I just... About Shaw to start off with, I would be really sad if Shaw is injured and can't play today, because he is so close to getting through a season where he's been available all the way through the season. This has been his most available season since he started at United. Amazing if you think about it. And I really, really hope for him he can get through the whole season. So I'll be really sad for sure if he can't. But if he can't, we've got Dorgu to come in, and it'll be great to see Dorgu back. Be really great to see Dorgu back. Although, well, we'll come to Cunha in a bit. If Cunha's not available or can't be picked, I would have liked to have seen Dorgu play in the advanced left-sided position. So everything, nothing's easy, is it? And everything comes with a slight disbenefit and a benefit. So if Dorgu comes back in instead of Shaw, that's great. But I'd really then want to see Cunha being able to play. If Šeško is injured, then I think we go to a setup which is much closer to what I, in a sense, would have wanted us to do based on the Anfield performance, which is Ahmad comes back in, Mbeumo starts on the right. Remember, our first goal at Anfield was Mbeumo down the right, terrifying the left-hand side of the Anfield defence that day. And Cunha up front in this slightly withdrawn front role. But able to sort of like move very, very fluidly in this area, either down a channel or up front, or a little bit withdrawn, linking together with Fernandes. So if Šeško is unavailable, I am not at all unhappy to see that formation being played. But I'd be very sad for Šeško, because I thought, as I said last week, he was excellent, and I'd like to see him have the opportunity to carry that forward and to build upon that excellent performance. I'll be sad to see Šeško out of the team through injury. So I hope this formation actually doesn't get played. I hope it's the one I just showed you. But I think this is a formation that we might see, or a team we might see, if the injuries to Shaw and Šeško are true. It all changes, doesn't it, if Cunha is also unavailable. That starts to become a bit problematic, because then I think you basically have to put Mbeumo up front, or do you? If Cunha is definitely not available, then I do think probably Mbeumo goes up front, because the alternative would be Xerxes. I don't know, there's a little bit of me would quite like to see that, but I just don't think there's the trust in him for that to happen. I'm sad to say it, but I just don't think so. So I think what happens is, if Cunha is not available, then it's Mount who comes in. Diallo plays on his more favoured right-hand side. Mount plays on his more favoured left-hand side. And I think that is the team we'll run with if Cunha is not playing. So we'd have a front of Fernandes, Mount, Diallo and Mbeumo, which has got plenty of quality. And I'm not scared of us playing in with that team at all. If Shaw is available, there's a lot of permutations here. If Shaw is available and plays as left back, then I think Dorgu comes in on the left. And that is a pretty exciting prospect, actually. In some ways, I'd quite like to see it. But I think those are the permutations. If those injury rumours turn out to be true. I don't think I've got anything to add to that. I think the teams that we've been through there are very close for teams that I would play. As I said, if Cunha is available, I kind of would have liked to have seen Cunha up front. When he played there at Anfield, I thought he was excellent. With Mbeumo on the right. If Dorgu is fit, I'd like to see him on the left. If Shaw is available as a fullback. Actually, that is the team I'd quite like to see playing. If all the players are fit and can be selected. That is the team I would go with. Lamans, Dalot, Heaven, Maguire, Shaw, Mainu, Casemiro, Fernandes, Mbeumo, Dorgu, and Cunha. Tough on Šeško, but I think that team would prove unbelievably problematic to Liverpool, with the problems that they have in defence at the moment. I think that would pose them an enormous number of problems. So yeah, that's what I would go with, but I don't think it's the team that Michael Carrick will go with. We'll wait and see. Right, so there you go. Predicted 11s for the game against Liverpool this afternoon. Really looking forward to it. Fantastic if we could win. That'd be really good. And we're good enough to win against this Liverpool team. But you never know in what is essentially the biggest derby match that we play. If we can get that win or that draw and secure Champions League this afternoon, that will be absolutely fantastic. And it will be such a reward for Michael Carrick to do that at Old Trafford. Hopefully you get a nice round of applause from the fans at the end of the game, Old Trafford. I guess he will do, because my own experience, my own sentiment is that the positivity towards Carrick amongst match-going fans is much stronger than it is as in comparison to the online community. The online community this week, and I'll do this in a later video this week. The online community this week has lost its mind over the head coach issue. Absolutely lost its mind. The anybody but Carrick contingent have been absolutely insane in their reaction to the possibility that Areola might become the United head coach. I do love the fact that often we get lectured by these people about how we've accepted lower standards at United over the last 13 years, and increasingly lower standards. These are the same people who are now saying that the next head coach at Manchester United should be a man who's managing a mid-table. I know we're slightly above mid-table, but they're essentially Bournemouth are a mid-table team who nobody expects them to do anything. So there's no pressure on them at any stage at all. Everything's a bonus. And that's the manager you want for United, and you accuse us of dropping our standards. Your dislike of Carrick is so strong that you'd literally have anybody instead of him. As I said, insane. But I'll talk about that later this week. For today, let's be positive. Let's look forward to the game. Let's hope United can put in a great performance. Let's hope they can win or draw. As long as we qualify for the Champions League. Yeah, I'll see you the other side of the game. I'll do a match reaction. Be a quick one, I think, today. It's a busy day for me. I'm going to have to be travelling tomorrow. So I've got to do some prep work for that. And my videos tomorrow might be hotel room videos. Don't know yet. It's a bit up in the air. So, they might be a bit lower quality than normal in terms of the way they look. But, it's what I guess is what we talk about, which is the important thing rather than the technical stuff. See you later today for a quick match reaction. Let's hope it's a positive one. But until then, always remain positively united.